Now, as the recession bites, it's only natural for many people to think of using their air miles for a cheap getaway, but around 2 million people who collect them could be in danger of losing them. The company which handles the Free Flights loyalty program have issued a use them or lose them ultimatum. Simon Calder is the travel editor of The Independent. You've been looking into this, Simon. I mean, for anyone worried now, they've got a whole bunch stashed away. What's the situation?
OK, this only affects people with real air miles. Now, air miles has become a kind of generic term for frequent flyer schemes, but what we're talking about here is the retail loyalty scheme owned by British Airways, which offers mostly British Airways flights and for which you earn points by shopping at particular supermarkets, going to particular petrol stations or using certain credit cards. Now, there's over 6 million collectors around the UK, and 2 million of those don't need to do anything because they're regular savers and spenders of air miles, and the company says that you just carry on as normal. What they're doing at the moment, though, is targeting 1.7 million people who've got more than 500 air miles but haven't added to that in the past 2 years, and they're sending them all letters saying if you've not had any air miles added to your account for 24 consecutive months, all the air miles you've collected will expire. In other words, it's a bit like a bank account where you haven't been topping it up. They'll say, we'll lose everything in your account.
Why are they doing that?
They're doing it because they say they want to get into line with other UK loyalty schemes. At the moment, they've got quite a lot of exposure to all sorts of liabilities, people who've maybe saved up a few hundred air miles.
Well, so they're worried if suddenly all these people came in at once, effectively, and used their allocations, it would cause them real problems.
Well, partly that, and partly that, you know, as times get tough, they want to make sure that their accounts are looking fairly favourable. So they've said, look, we don't actually mind if you want to spend these air miles. That's great if you've decided that air miles aren't for you. But what we're not prepared to do is say that you know, these things are valid forever, which since they began in the 1980s, they have been. Worth pointing out that they're not doing anything wrong. Their terms and conditions have always said we may impose a time limit. It's only this year that they've decided that they are going to.
And so if anyone's got them, what they need to do is what? Just check when they last used them, and if they want to keep them, use it soon.
Yes, I mean there's lots of people, there's a couple of million people who've got fewer than 500 air miles who at the moment won't be getting letters from the company. But whatever loyalty points you have for whatever scheme, the message is, particularly in these difficult times, check what you've got, check if they're going to expire, and yeah, for instance, even if you've only got a couple of 100 air miles kicking around, that's enough for a ride on the British Airways London Eye. So even if you've got relatively few, it's still worth checking them out and spending them on something fun.
Simon, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. That's it from breakfast this morning. I'll leave you with a last look at the weather with Laura.
Hello there. Well, it's the same old story outside, and that theme's set to continue as we head through the next few days.